Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. We're starting our weekly webinar, mapping out your week ahead. This is Simon, Senior Account Manager at AvaTrade. So, welcome, everyone. It's been quite a week, and I guess another quite a week is waiting for us. So, what we do here, just for new people, clarifying, we're simply making a plan for the week. And as I like to quote traders when they say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. This way, of course, there's no guarantee of being a success, but definitely uh, removing chaos from our trading, removing reactivity and impulsivity. So, as you know, in general, even in life, in every aspect of our life, planning, spending a little bit time to planning actually improves things. Few things about myself. As I said, my name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been involved with trading for the past 24 plus years. I started as a prop trader on Wall Street in June of 2000, and I did it straight for about 11 years. And after that, I moved into a less stressful environment of trading, also started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy to have this opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda, we speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We bring up a little bit of a big picture, what's been happening, what could be happening. We go through economic calendar, and that's the format of the webinar. Risk warning, you can find a full statement at avatrade.com website. Of course, everything we do here, it's purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Here we go with the social media channels. Please feel free to subscribe to our Telegram X, which used to be Twitter. Nobody says Twitter anymore. And my favorite YouTube channel where you can find a lot of information, including tutorials, educational materials, and the webinars that you might be missing, or you just want to browse through the past webinars. You're more than welcome. Subscribe, click on the bell, you'll be notified. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to click those likes, share with people that you think might be benefiting from this, and write your comments and questions if you have any. We would be happy to hear from you. Okay, so before we go into the things that I prepared, it's important to keep an eye on what's been happening. As you know, the elections on November 5th turn things around. Markets, I mean, I don't know if it's the right thing to say turn things around. Markets were really strong, trying to actually go into correction, but then the excitement about Trump taking the office in White House got the markets to new highs. Dollar moved higher, gold sold, and other things. China got shaken a little bit. European markets felt a little bit of a down move. So that was the first reaction. It lasted for about a week, and then last week we had some numbers, including the CPI and PPI numbers, and then we had the speech of Powell, the chair of the Fed. And since then, we had a strong reaction to the downside. Some indices went down 2%, 3%, and individual stocks also. We'll be taking a look at those as well. And that brings us to this upcoming week, where the highlight of the week is actually the earnings of NVIDIA. Most of the major stocks already reported, and NVIDIA being the leader of NASDAQ and the tech and AI technology, it's been pushing the market higher. In the past few days, it's been going lower. We'll take a look at the stock when we get to the charts. And the earnings are coming on Wednesday. So it's very, very important. Now, here we go, the speech of Powell. This is the article from marketwatch.com. I think this is from Barron's. The Fed interrupted the stock market Trump rally. What comes next? Good question. It says right here, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's remarks helped cool the stock market rally sparked by Donald Trump elections victory, what we were just saying. So it looks like by his last speech that they're not really in a rush to to cut the rates again as economy is doing okay and inflation is still stubborn and so on. So interesting article, you can find it. Now, NVIDIA, as I said, reporting, the title says right here, will NVIDIA earnings report signal a stock market pullback? As of now, until now, NVIDIA has been beating record highs in earnings as demand for the hardware they provide is really, really high as being used in AI technology. Now it says right here, NVIDIA will report another set of quarterly numbers, likely showing a tremendous increased sales from the year early period. But analysts expect its growth pace to continue to slow down. I mean, it's hard to keep up with the results we had until now, definitely, as the market cap of the company is growing as well. So definitely very, very important. They're reporting on Wednesday. Now, this is what I meant by saying that the Feds are kind of not changing the course, but adjusting the course. Take a look. We had back in October, we had 85% probability of the Feds cutting the rates by 0.25%, then it adjusted to 61, and as of now, it's about 62% probability from 85. So it's a drop. This is the CME tools. You can just Google CME Feds tools, and you can track the predictions here on the interest rate changes. Okay, so let's go through economic calendar really quick. And for new people especially, I just want to clarify what this is. It's public information. You can find it on our web trader or the mobile app. Also, you can Google it. A lot of providers have this posted. It's important to know, I think every trader should be aware ahead of time of certain things, especially the important events like interest rate decisions or inflation numbers and other important numbers and events, so you wouldn't be caught by surprise. So here I take usually the high impact events only. It's so much more there. You can browse through them, you can filter through, you can choose what events are relevant to your trading. So here, high impact events, let's go through them really quick. Monday, we have Governor of Bank of Japan, Ueda. I keep on wanting to say Kuroda. He was the one before. So Ueda is speaking on Monday. I will take a look at yen. Friday, actually, yen improved its volume. We're going to take a look at the charts when we get there. So this speech, I guess, is very important. We will know what's further in store for Bank of Japan's actions as far as regulating the interest rate. ECB President Lagarde speaking as well. This week we have a lot of speeches by the heads of the central banks. Tuesday, meeting minutes for Bank of Australia. CPI numbers from Canada on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, CPI numbers from UK, and another speech by President of ECB Lagarde on Wednesday as well. Another speech by the Governor Ueda from Bank of Japan on Thursday. Speech of Governor of Bank of Australia as well on Thursday. PMI, manufacturing PMI numbers and service PMI numbers from US, that's on Thursday. And Friday we have retail sales from UK, PMI numbers from Germany, another speech by Lagarde, PMI numbers from European Union, PMI numbers from UK, and another speech by the central banker, chairman of Swiss National Bank, speech on Friday as well. So these are the things. There's so much more. If you just look through them, as I said, I choose only the high impact events here. All right. Another thing important to notice as The 10-year yields, it's all over the news that the yields are moving higher and the markets were moving higher. And we discussed it here a few times how both are moving higher. Something is weird. So take a look. We had Thursday and Friday with the big tails both ways, pretty much closing in the same spot. And we didn't manage to close on above this big candle about a week ago. So it just shows you that really the yields, not sure, definitely have kind of lost this steam to go higher, shaking everybody out. I guess we'll see some moves, serious moves. Either we break through this high of the candle, or we're going to go into the correction to the downside. In any event, we closed at 4.438. Definitely we're watching it. So logically, when the yields are going high, it's pushing the dollar higher, pushing the gold lower. We did both happen. We saw both things happening. The dollar is strong. We'll take a look when we get to the charts, and gold's been selling. So definitely worth watching if you're involved in trading those instruments. Also, usually the equity markets reacting in reverse to the 10-year yields. But now with the Trump elections, we saw the move in the market to the highs together with the yields. Okay, and as we started this tradition a few weeks back, these are the biggest gainers, the biggest losers for the week. So on the upside, we have cocoa back to life after shaking everybody out, up 22% for the week. Coffee also up almost 13% for the week. Those are the winners, and the losers. Wheat down 6%, copper down 5.6%, crude oil down 4 3/4, and gold the same. So we'll take a look when we get to those commodities. We'll see how they look on the chart. Okay, let's bring the charts up and we'll start going through the markets. And we'll start with China. As I mentioned to you, with Trump winning the elections, China has been really having a continuation of that downside pressure. Again, just especially for new people, just to remind, this was a super, super strong and quick move to the upside on the Chinese market. Take a look, just to review. We went up to the level of 2021 in 2 weeks. The third week caught a little bit, and then in 2 days we'll give away half of that move. So I'm just going to bring again the Fibonacci retracement just to give us a little bit of understanding of percentage. So that big move, as you could see here, in 2 days we give away 50% of that move. Then we went lower, and then we had the nice move last week, which was erased the very next day. Actually, there was a week before. And then as we are holding this 50% retracement as a resistance, the last 2 days went down. So probably we might see that retest of 61% here, and that would be right on 50-day moving average for Chinese index. There's a lot of things. There are a few articles that I ran through that small businesses are suffering, especially now with the fear of tariffs going up. China is not really a happy camper lately. So definitely we'll be watching that. And by tradition, as you know, that I mentioned 4 instruments when I speak about China. That's crude oil and copper, and also 2 commodity currencies, as they're being called, Australian and New Zealand dollars. So let's take a quick look, and then we'll go deeper when we get there. So copper is selling together with China, oil is selling together with China, Australian dollar has been selling, and New Zealand dollar has been selling. Okay, so we'll go to analyzing a little bit deeper when we get to those assets. So that's China. Now, U.S. indices. Let's take a quick look. S&Ps, as you could see, a big move with the Trump elections. Since then, we've been sliding, and the last 2 days been really a big selling on the high volume as well. And as you could see here, important to look left when you cross the street, as I like to mention as an example. So the same thing, you look left on the chart and see the levels here. So the high 59.18 and a quarter. Let's just mark that really quick. 59.18 and a quarter. Here we go. That was where we stopped this strong move to the upside. This was the level of mid-October. Since then, we came and we retested the previous support right here, as you could see, and then we made the all-time high. Now we just broke that level. So a few things we could see. We could see continuation, maybe retesting the 50-day moving average. We could see a bounce back and building the support in order to move higher, or we can see straight move down as well, all the way to the support. Everything is happening. Everything could be happening. Depends on the how intense the move's going to be. How actually a lot of it also will be affected by NVIDIA's earnings and projections and so on. So definitely we'll be watching that. So this level of 59.18 is important to watch for the S&P 500. NASDAQ, a bigger sell-off here. As you could see here, we just went straight through that level of July peak. Friday was a big sell-off, and we stopped right on the trend line. That's what I like to mention a lot. When you put a simple trend line just for illustration or just for for you to see how things are working with the uptrend, take a look. We stopped right on that trend line, and also we stopped right on 50-day moving average and bounced off it. So this level 29.85, very important. It could be our resistance now, as it was here, and we're sitting right on 50-day moving average. We'll be watching that. Okay, Dow Jones looks stronger. It did come down to this level here of as we said, mid-October, and we stopped and holding. So the support is holding so far. It didn't turn into resistance yet. So the high here, 43,576. Let's mark that. Okay. So we are holding that level. Let's see, what 1 hour chart. We actually went below. It closed really a little bit above that. So we'll be watching Dow actually on possible holding this level or catching up with the other indices and moving towards the 50-day moving average to the downside. Now Russell, as fast as it went up, it just came right back, and that's the small cap US index. Very volatile, as you could see. Excitement went up, similar to China, right? When it went up, and we gave away more than 50% in the past week. So definitely we'll be watching that. Germany, it just hugging that 50-day moving average. It's holding to it. Let's see with the speeches we have of Lagarde this week. Let's see if any effects on the German index. UK doesn't look so good. Actually trading below 200 moving average, which some analysts considering to be bearish territory. So we'll be watching that as well. French index, we don't watch that much, I guess, but it's worth paying attention. We are trading below the previous support and below all three moving averages. So also nothing exciting there. So that's as far as indices. And now we're gonna move to the equity markets. And you know what, let's start with NVIDIA. I'm gonna bring the MT5 here, and NVIDIA stock, take a look what happened here. Let's see the big picture. Weekly chart. We had a high here on mid-June of 140.61. Then we had a nice sell-off below 100. Then we had the move up, correction, making higher low, and we had a strong move to the upside as the general market was moving higher as well. So The past week, we were holding around 147, 148, and then Wednesday was sold after the gap. Thursday, we held that Wednesday's low, and Friday it was a gap down as the general market was selling after the speech of Powell, which affected markets in a negative way. It kind of reduced the probability of the Fed's cutting the rates on the 18th of December. So it was a gap down and continuation, and we actually managed to close the previous gap here. The high here was 140, this candle, 140.27, and the low here was 139.99. So we did cross those prices, we closed the gap, and we bounced. So definitely the whole attention will be this week on NVIDIA. So Friday's low should be our indication of possible support or breaking it and making it a resistance for the future. So and the high, I guess, on Friday would be our indication of a breakout to the upside. So definitely it's going to be a lot of actions in NVIDIA, reshuffling positions, guessing the right direction. So we'll be watching NVIDIA definitely starting Monday, and they are reporting on Wednesday, I believe, after the market close. So other stocks worth mentioning, banking system. It's been strong, and actually on Friday, where all the technology sold, banks actually went up. So the banks are continue being bullish in the light of Trump taking the White House on January 20th. He's actually becoming a president. So take a look. JP Morgan is on the way to retest the highs. Bank of America, super strong. As you could see here, we're moving toward that strong resistance around 50 area. Citibank as well. Thursday was actually a move. Friday, not so much. So we'll continue watching banks as they really went strong on Friday, as technology and major indices stalled. Pharmaceuticals, they try to rebound here. Where are you guys? Here we go. Friday was a nice move on Johnson & Johnson after the sell-off. To remind you, the moment we had the results of elections, the next day the market went up and pharmaceuticals sold. As we know, that Trump, with the help of Kennedy Jr., they really trying to adjust, let's put it this way, the whole pharmaceutical industry. The Johnson & Johnson, nice move, nice bounce on Friday. Let's see if it's sustainable. Same thing on Pfizer. Actually, Pfizer didn't do that. Wow. Pfizer just continued falling. And wow, we just broke on the weekly chart, we just broke the support of April with the low of 29.18, sorry, 25.18. And we closed below 25. Let's see in the monthly chart. Wow. If this continues, we might actually move towards the 20 number. Wow. So that's Pfizer. Teva Pharmaceutical as well. If you remember, we spoke about Teva for a long time as we moved from 7 to 11, from 11 to 14, and then to 19. As of now, since all the pharma is being hit by predictions with the Trump ruling. Here we go. We went from 19 to 17 area, and then we had few gaps. And then, as you could see here, was a strong gap down on Friday and recovery closing that gap. So we're sitting right on 200 moving average here on Teva Pharmaceutical. So we'll watch that on the further moves. Will we hold the 200 and go into correction? Will we break and go lower? We'll find out in the upcoming days. So that's banks and pharmaceuticals. And let's just take a look, prepare ourselves for the big guys, for the big tech possibility. before that, let's take a look at McDonald's. Remember, I didn't see any highlights again about that poisoning of E. coli bacteria, but as you could see here, it's been trading in the $6 channel, pretty much $2.92 to $2.99, $7. So Friday was a sell-off. We are below the 50-day moving average. So far, we are holding this support around 290 and the resistance around 300. So watch now. Technology, they all sold on Friday. Microsoft with the gap and continuation. Meta gap and continuation to the lower side, below the 50-day moving average. Tesla also from this excitement, it sold a little bit Friday actually on the market going lower, general technology going lower, Tesla bounced to the upside. So we might see continuation. As you know, the Tesla is, or not Tesla, but the personal CEO, Musk is involved. He's going to be appointed as head of office that never existed. There will be consulting president on government efficiency. So Tesla, let's watch that. Uber, remember that story with the 1010, October 10, the robo-taxi, when Tesla sold and Uber just went up crazy. Since then, we've been selling and coming to the base of around $70. And the last 2 days, we had an upside move, and that could trigger beginning of that move towards highs again. Let's see. We just popped above. You know what? Let me remove this line so you wouldn't be confusing us. As you could see here, we just popped above the 100 and 200 moving average and closed nicely above them. So we might see continuation or retesting it. So that's Uber. Netflix, the whole story with the, I didn't see the fight, but it's all over the news, all over the social media. They said that Netflix actually didn't have a quality streaming for that fight. It kept on refreshing, and that's not a good thing, I guess. In any event, Netflix has been super strong, and Friday it actually sold. So let's see if that's the trigger for some correction, or it's just the a small profit taking. So that's on Netflix. Apple has been selling, trading, sorry, in this channel of $10 between 220 and 230. Occasionally moving out of that channel, but as you can see clearly, the channel is holding for now. And as I like to say, as traders observe all the time, the longer the channel, the tight channel is, the stronger could be the move. So we'll be watching that. Apple, and especially, I think last week I was preparing for market review for my team, and they said that the tariff changes by Trump towards China could be adding $250 per iPhone to be producing it. So that's also putting a little bit of pressure on Apple and other technology companies. So Apple, right in the middle of that channel, closing at 225. Amazon, reaction to the downside after making highs here, a gap and continuation and rejecting that 200 level. So far the 199 200 level looks like it's a support after being a resistance for a while. Google, similar story, 3 gaps actually we did have here. Friday was a strong gap down. We're still trading above the 3 moving averages here, so let's see what this week brings. Boeing, we didn't speak about Boeing for a couple of weeks, I think. It's been selling, which broke the 145, and we continued below 140, and then we bounced on Friday, closing at 140. Let's see the weekly chart. Weekly chart actually could take us lower to the previous support. Potentially, we could come to around 120. What was the level here? 120, 121 level if we don't bounce from here. So that's Boeing. Intel, as you know, Intel has been strong the past few sessions, and then we went to correction, sitting right on 100 moving average here on Intel. What else? We spoke about banks. So again, if you speak about stocks, to watch the banks, possible continuation to the upside. Pharmaceuticals, Johnson Johnson bonds, and the other one, whose name is Pfizer, continues that downside pressure because they really, one of the purposes, especially the Kennedy Jr., they trying to bring up all the truth about the COVID and vaccination and other things. So it looks like we might see some news popping up soon. So that's as far as stocks. Let's take a quick look in commodities, and we start with those champions first. Cocoa, a nice move to the upside after holding this base around 7,000 with occasional breaking, as you could see here. Here it looked like we're breaking lower. We came right back above 70, above 7,000. And take a look, this past week was super strong. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Friday was a little bit of a corrections here. So we're back above 8,500 from 700. 8,500 from a 7,000 base. Will continue. Just again, for those of you that are not aware, the whole move and the tremendous move here, and cocoa is fundamental reason a physical shortage of cocoa actually in the Western Africa where it's being harvested there, especially in the Ivory Coast. So if you can see it here on the weekly chart, it was a super strong move, raising pretty much the whole action of about 6-7 weeks, right? So we could be moving higher here towards the 92 level. We could be moving lower again, testing the 7,000. So we'll find out. Coffee as well. There's something with beans. A strong move this past week, breaking the previous high of the week of September 22nd. Super strong, holding the whole week, higher closing at the high of the week. So we'll continue watching coffee of possible continuation or some correction, profit taking could take places. Now, technically speaking here, we should be watching this level in case we pull back again. The level of a previous resistance here. This was on September 26th. And the high here was 274.90. I'll just put exactly that level. 274.90. So in case we move back, the traders could start fighting for this level. And the opposite, we can just, if the opposite happens, we could continue. But judging by this is probably the largest candle, if not ever, but for a very long time. So we might see actually correction, or it could be a continuation to the upside. It looks like a short squeeze. It could be that some traders were short, or maybe there's a fundamental reason, maybe the shortage of coffee as well. Sometimes it's due to the weather conditions as well. Brazil and other places. So I didn't research it, so I don't have that information, but it could be, or it could be just technically squeezing the shorts out. So that's two champions, cocoa and coffee. Let's take a look at losers. Wheat, selling on the weekly chart, as you could see here. On the daily, we had 4 days to the downside. Friday, we had a little bit of recovery. Let's take a look at this upcoming week for wheat, how things are working out. Copper, as we said, been selling. I think the main reason is China, as a Chinese index, and the economy doesn't show a lot of excitement there. And we started this big move to the upside from these levels here, 405.80. Let's mark that. 405.80. Okay, so it looks like we held this on Friday. Thursday were the tailed above, but they bought it out. The volume is increasing here. So let's see if we continue holding this 405.80. Should we break it, we might go retest the 4 psychological level, and we could also bounce to the upside. We'll be watching that upcoming week. That's copper. Crude oil, same thing, a lot of it to do with China as well. And of course, as we mentioned last week with Trump and his policies and his slogan, drill, 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 might bring more oil to the market and dilute the price. So we might be seeing that. It could be already reacting to the future of the American drill, drill, drill. Sorry for my sarcasm. So Friday, a strong move to the downside. We closed at 66.93. The previous support here was 66.71. It didn't reach that level yet. So let's mark it as our immediate short-term support. What's the number here we said? 66.71. 671. Okay. So let's watch that. We did have a tail breaking below and moving higher from here. But as you could see here, we're clearly making lower highs consistently. And we are holding, though, the lows strongly here. So at some point, they might push through and break through the support, or we might shoot up as well. Just to remind us, unfortunately, the war in the Middle East is still happening. So potentially that could be affecting the supply as well. So let's see how things work out. And gold, of course, as we said, with the 10-year yields moving higher and the market's moving higher, gold just broke through the 50-day moving average. And this past few days, we're trading below the 100 moving average here. And if we take this brief support here, low of 25.4675, see, 75. We did try to break through, we bounced right back. So as of now, this 25.46 level, 25.47 level, it looks like support. Let's see how this week plays for gold. Now let's take a quick look at natural gas. Natural gas had a nice move. If you remember last week, we said it might be coming to 3, retesting the 3 level. We did go down Wednesday, we hit 301. And then the very next day we sold, and Friday we bounced a little bit after testing the 50-day moving average. So we're still in this tight channel. If you take a look at the weekly chart, we are trading, been trading actually for a while between 2 and 3, but if you narrow it in, it looks like we're trading between 226 and 3 right here. The serious levels, we had the resistance here, we built support, we moved higher, we came back, retested it again, moved higher. This was the new contract, that we closed the gap between contracts and came back to reclaim that 3 number. And now we're right in the middle somewhere. So that's natural gas. Also, somebody asked me on my Wednesday webinar about natural gas and seasonals, and logically they said that the winter is coming and more gas should be used to warm up the houses and everything else. And I just showed everyone something on natural gas that the monthly chart did. All the big moves actually happen in the spring going into the summer. March, April into August, moving higher here for the summer. And so it's hard to find logic in it. Just figured I'd mention it to you. So that's natural gas. Going to Forex, as we said, with the 10-year yields, dollar's been super, super strong. We held that 200 moving average here. We had a strong move up, especially with the elections and America first, quote unquote. So we are above 106. If you take a look at the weekly chart, we're actually retesting now the resistance of a year ago, somewhere October, November, after which was sold to 101 area. Well, let's see how we do here. So that's dollar. The majors, of course, just the mirror image. This is weekly chart, so take a look. Second consecutive weeks on euro, coming back to also to congestive area here. We might see support. Pound, the same thing. We just came to 100 moving average and also support of mid-June. Here comes the Japanese yen, very, very important to mention. Friday, it was very, very strong. Take a look at it, erased the previous 2.5 days in the moon, and that's on the dollar, which was strong. But if you take a look, yen pairs, it's a super, super strong move. We raised the whole week of the move up on the Swiss yen, Australian yen, strong move, Canadian yen, strong move, erasing 5 sessions in one day. Euro, the same thing. British pound, same thing. New Zealand. So definitely, maybe they know something. They know what we'll hear from the governor of Bank of Japan. Maybe speculation, maybe preparation. We don't know, and that's the beauty of the market. You can't really know. You can adjust. You can try to predict. You can try to analyze and make your plan. So yen, definitely we'll be watching yen this upcoming week. Especially, we have 2 speeches of the governor of Bank of Japan. So another thing, Australian and New Zealand dollars, we said with China that they've been selling. If you take a look at the daily chart, we had actually here, it looks like it's not sure where to go. Maybe it's done going lower, at least for now. As you can see, the tails both ways, and we close a little bit higher in Australian dollar. New Zealand dollar, similar story here. It looks like we are holding that August 5th support possibility. So we'll be watching that. Of course, if dollar reversed, the US dollar reversed, also go into correction to the downside, we might actually see some bounces on the major currencies to the opposite direction. So definitely worth watching. Let's take a look at our 3 dessert currency pairs that we mentioned. Dollar finally shoot up against the ZAR. If you remember, I mentioned to you, the dollar's been going higher all this time here, but on the ZAR, it got stuck. But finally, they just give up. I had a huge move on USD ZAR to the upside, and we are right on 100 moving average here. Another pair we've been talking about is dollar Hungarian forint. After establishing a very strong support here, we shoot up, and we are holding this level now. So the question is, what's next? If dollar goes into correction, we might see move to the downside. If we continue with the strength, we might see a continuation to the upside in this pair. And here's Norwegian krona. Dollar continued higher as the strength of the US dollar continues. Also weakness of the oil prices also contributed. But here, we had a nice correction on Friday, so we'll see what's next for Norwegian krona. And let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. It's currently trading at 91,000 as we speak. This is live quote. A lot of excitement. We are in the all-time highest territory. As we know, one of the programs of President Trump will be developing the cryptocurrencies and supporting it. So since the election, we just made an all-time high from 70s to 90s. The target, or not the target, but everybody's already keeping an eye for 100. We had a nice correction since these highs here. On the 14th, we went back below 90, went to 86,600. and then the very next day we erased that loss. So we are holding very, very strong. A lot of people are excited, the holders, and let's see what happens there. Okay, and I guess that concludes our market reviews. So just to put it all together, right? January 20th, Trump will take the president's chair in White House. Going to be a lot of excitement for everyone. We have China shaking a little bit, so we might see further down moves there. We have the upcoming week, we have speeches from central bankers. They include Christine Lagarde from European Central Bank. We have Governor of Bank of Japan speaking, Australian governor speaking, and we definitely want to see that earnings report from NVIDIA, see if it pushes the markets higher or does the opposite, as markets are a little bit freaking out or reacting in a negative way to Powell's speech on this past Thursday, where the whole mood was they're not super eager to cut the rates in the upcoming meeting on December 18th. Okay, I want to wish everyone a good weekend. We still have Sunday ahead of us. Depends where you are. And get some energy, get some power, get your preparation in order, and have an amazing and successful and profitable week. All the best, and see you all next Sunday. Take care.